I'm your host, Matt, and this platform is all about real stories, raw journeys and transformations, both physical and mental. And I'll be welcoming best in field professionals and clients over time. But today we're kicking off things with someone truly special, a Flexfit legend and client of mine, Charlie. Charlie came to me 2.5 months ago at 126 kilos. He's dropped a remarkable 14 kilos now. But what's more impressive is how far he's come mentally. His journey hasn't been easy, but it's powerful, it's honest, and it'll hit home for a lot of people listening. Let's get into it. So Charlie.
All right, mate.
Let's go back to the beginning, Charlie. What was life like for you? Go way back to like your first job. How were you then, and how were things for you compared to where they were before you met me? What were you doing, and what was your weight like? What was your diet like? What was life like?
Life was pretty good, really. When I lived in Wales, in Tywyn, I was always out every weekend with the lads, doing what lads do. Loved a kebab.
As you do.
As I do, yeah. And I met a few kebabs in my time. Just happy-go-lucky, really. Just one of the lads. But a few of the lads and that, my mates and that, they were into the gym, and the gym was never something that I'd ever considered back then.
So what age was this?
This about 18, 19, early 20s. Just they would go to the gym, but I'd go with them, and they'd be in the gym and that, lifting the weights and that, and we stood sat in there talking and stuff like that. Never even had an interest in any kind of gym at all.
Yeah.
But I've always had active jobs. I've always done active work, grounds maintenance, grass cutting. So I've always been on my feet and stuff like that. But I always used to carry pain in my knees and my lower back all the time. And
what was that due to? The weight you?
I think it was the weight. It was definitely the weight. Because I was a big lad. I've always been big because my family's big, but I was carrying some really, really serious timber. And some days I'd come home from work and my knees and my ankles would be absolutely killing me. Sometimes when I was actually in work, my kidneys would be hurting because, I was walking. Some days I'd walk 20, 24, 25,000 steps, grass cutting and stuff like that. And my kidneys would be killing me. But I never, ever had the thing to actually go to the gym because it was just something that I never really was ever into. Never really.
What was the turning point when you turn around to your missus or at home and said, enough's enough, I've got to do something about this?
It wasn't, that never ever crossed my mind. The reason how I got to walk into a gym was through a doctor. In 2000, when COVID hit, just towards the back end of COVID, I just went into a very, very deep depression, a very dark place.
What do you think caused that? What happened? Was it were you out of a job? Or,
no.
So you were still working during COVID?
Yeah, I had a home, I had a family, I had a good job. COVID was shit at the time. People were getting poorly who I knew. I knew 2 people that actually died from COVID. My partner was working in a care home. She's seen some horrific things.
That must have been rough.
It hit her bad. She was coming home. I remember one time she come home and she was absolutely really, really bad because she'd actually seen the paramedics come in with the white suits and the masks. That's when it hit home and it was serious.
Yeah.
So I couldn't say it was that. I just don't know what it was, Matt. I was outgoing. I was happy. I was life, and people who could tell you about me is Charlie's the life and soul of the party.
And would you say, were you at your heaviest then?
Yes.
So
I got heavier. I got heavier.
So roughly, for the people listening,
I've always been around about 18, 19 stone. Always.
Just press pause a minute because there's a lot of people in the States that don't work with stone. They normally work with kilos. So about 18, 19 stone is about 124 to 126 kilos.
Yeah.
Which is about 250 pounds.
Yeah. I've always been around that size because me and my dad were exactly the same. Big build, big lads. I've always been fluctuating around that weight. But once the depression and the anxiety kicked in, I ballooned. I went to, my heaviest was 22.5 stone.
So 22.5 stones. You're talking about, 280 to 300 pounds. And for those listening, Charlie is 6 foot. So 6 foot at about 280, 300 pounds and about 150 kilos.
Yeah.
And so what drove that massive weight gain? Were you drinking booze?
Yeah.
Did you eat crap foods? So give us an idea of what were you doing at the time?
Well, I was drinking quite heavily. I was drinking 10 to 15 cans of Carling a night. So after work,
Right.
I'd get home. In the morning, at work, it'd be two bacon butties from Greg's or a cafe.
Yeah.
Then for dinner, it'd be a chippy, chips, sausage, gravy, whatever. And this is no word of life. If my partner was here with you now, we were eating six takeaways a week. And
What takeaways?
doner kebabs, burgers, McDonald's, just absolute junk.
Right.
But that was being washed down with 10 to 15 cans of Carling,
Blimey.
7 days a week. But this wasn't. If I could have controlled it, I would have. But I didn't. I just didn't know where I was and what I was doing. My goal, my aim was just getting up in the morning and just somehow, instead of going back to bed and closing the curtains and just your thinking, it was just try and just get through the day, whatever it is, and that was the routine. It was the routine.
So to get through the day, was that because of anxiety
Yeah.
and depression?
Yeah.
And had you been to see anyone like a doctor
No.
or a therapist at that point?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Because I just thought it was the norm.
That was the norm.
I just thought it was the norm.
So at what point did you think I need help?
When I started pushing people away. When I was pushing the people who were close to me away, friends.
Well, were they saying, we need to help you or you need to do something about this, and you were saying, leave me alone?
Yeah. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
So when,
I haven't got the problem. You've got the problem.
Yeah.
Why are you picking on me? What have I done to you?
So what made you get up and think, fuck, it is me that's got the problem?
When I had a massive argument with my brother, who's no longer with me, but we'll go into that in a little bit of time. But me and my brother was, what's the word?
Closer
Closer than close.
Right.
We were like that, me and my brother. He knew what I was thinking before I'd even thought it.
Yeah.
My brother was the only one who could make me see things the way that I wanted to see things. Like I said, I've always been one of them people, and it's been one of my biggest downfalls is that, I'm angry, but that's down to my anxiety. I have got anger issues, but that's down to my anxiety. I get angry because I can't control my anxiety, and I feel like I should be able to control my own feelings, thoughts, but I can't. That's what makes me angry, and then that's what brings on the depression, because I can't control my anxiety.
I understand.
But I've always been one of them people, and it's been my biggest downfall is I've always been one that punch first and ask questions later.
Right.
And then after I've calmed down and thought, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. But my brother's always been was always the one to make me see.
So you mentioned that you had the argument, which was the turning point.
Yeah, it was the turning point.
What happened?
We didn't speak for 6 to 8 weeks.
So why? Because he said, Charlie,
Yeah,
you've got to
help. You're pushing your family away. I'd had a fallout with my dad prior, not spoke to my dad. And there was only me and my brother talking. And my partner, Hannah, she did everything in her power to just try and make things. She was try and be the magnet to try and pull everyone together. But I just wasn't listening to anyone. I just thought I was right and you're wrong.
Just out of interest, I don't know if it's a sore subject, but did your partner feel you had an issue, or
oh yeah,
was she?
She needs a gold medal. She needs a gold medal.
Well, what's her name?
Hannah. Yeah.
Well done, Hannah.
She needs a gold medal.
Good for you.
Honest to God.
Good for you, Hannah.
So
between Hannah and brother, they were like they grabbed the bull by the horns and said,
"Yeah,
Charlie, you got to fucking sort yourself out." You basically said, "Go away and leave me alone." So you got the problem, not me.
Yeah.
So then, when did you just wake up and go, "They're right. I need to do something today"?
I'd got up one morning to go to work, and I just couldn't do anything. I got dressed, made a cup of tea, made Anna a cup of tea, took it to bed for her like I do every morning. She wakes up every morning with a cup of tea made, even if it's stone cold, there's a cup of tea there. Made, got dressed, and I just had this, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't put my work boots on and go outside.
What was going through your head at that point? Why do you think you couldn't?
I don't know, Matt. Honestly, mate, it's such a sore thing. I just couldn't think. I just went on the bed, and Hannah said, "You're not going to work?" And I just burst out in tears. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I honestly don't know what's wrong with me." So she said, "Right, I'll ring the doctor." And I said, "Right, okay." But I said, "I've got to go to work. I can't let work down." And I went to work. And this is gospel truth. From where I lived to where I worked was 9 mile, maybe between 9 and 11 mile. And I was in that much of a daze. I got to work, and I was in work, and I was absolutely sobbing my heart out. I don't remember to this day leaving my house and driving to work. Honestly, I don't remember. I said to the woman at my work, I said, "How I've got here, I do not know, because I don't know where I am."
Did anyone at work know what was going on?
Yeah, no, they didn't know. They didn't know. And work, I've never, ever seen me like that, because I don't show my emotion. I don't show emotion to anyone. I keep it inside, and then I'll go for a walk, or I'll go somewhere and I'll scream and I'll shout and I'll cry. And once I know I'm okay, I go back, and it's like a thing. And maybe that's another thing why I'm so down and depressed, because I don't let my feelings out and show people my feelings. So yeah, work, because I worked for a council, work put me through occupational health and everything, and I was off work for 4 months, 3-4 months.
Right.
And that's where I started the counselling, and they diagnosed that I had depression, severe anxiety. But then 4 months being off work was the hardest part, being at home.
Doing nothing.
So
did they say, take these drugs, or did they say,
yeah, they
try this or try that?
They started me on a low dose of sertraline, which is an antidepressant. But they started me on a high dose of propanadol or whatever it's called, which helps with your anxiety. And I was on like 160 mils of that. I'm still on that now to this day, 160 mils. One tablet 3 times a day. But I only take my antidepressants once in the morning. But yeah, I was on sertraline. But as the months went on, the sertraline got higher and higher and higher, because I was dropping more and more and more.
The dose or the
dose? The dose got higher and higher and higher. But towards the end of that, I got stupid, because I was in the mindset of, well, if that's a happy tablet, if I take more and more and more, I'll be happier and happier and happier. And it was
that's the trap.
That was the trap. It didn't. The suicidal thoughts that come in, stupid thoughts, the dreams, absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible. But I just didn't want to go anywhere. The Friday big shop, we call it up there, when you go on a Friday, you do your week shopping. I just couldn't take myself to do that. Right. I'd drop Anna off with Frankie. I'd sit in the car, and
Frankie's your son?
My little boy, yeah, he's 9, yeah. So he's only 9, and for the past 5 years he's had to see all this.
Yeah.
And we are actually going through things with school and his paediatrician health for anxiety. So it looks like I've passed the gene on to him, doesn't it? Which is a very sad thing to actually think that's one thing you've passed on to your son is this horrible whatever it is.
Maybe, unless he starts to see how well you've done, which
he loves this. He loves this what I'm doing.
Training.
I wish I brought my Father's Day card to show you my Father's Day card, the thing that he's wrote in it. And the actual Father's Day card is what you say to me, you're nailing it. And that's what it says on the Father's Day card, nailing it. And he's put like a paragraph in it. Daddy, so proud of you with your weight loss and what you're doing. And that's the thing that, gets you going. That's the thing that keeps your fire burning.
Amazing. So let's move forward a little bit. So you took 4 months off work and you were still about 22 stone.
Yeah.
So about 300 pounds. And at what point, how did you come across me? Was it Instagram, or where did you get the latch point of like, this guy might be able to help me?
Well, I'll just go back a little bit. It's like I was off work for 4 months and I was going to see the doctor, and I wasn't leaving the house, wasn't doing anything. And I went to the doctor for a checkup on the medication, and he said, how's everything else? I said, my kidneys are hurting and my knees are hurting me. And he said, well, that's down to your weight. And I said, that's what it could be, but whatever. He said, the leisure centre in the town that you live, they do a 6-week free gym pass through your doctor. He said, I think it really helped you with your anxiety and your depression, just to get you out of the house.
So if the doctor said this guy needs help, he should have 6 weeks.
Yeah. I got a 6-week free membership.
Okay, that's really good.
And he said, I don't care, Charlie, if you go to that gym and you don't do any weights. Let's just get you out of the house for now. Let's just get you out. Let's try and break the barrier of you going out and thingy. So yeah, I did. I got the 6-week pass, started going. But I didn't feel like I was ready to go into the gym. I didn't want to go in the gym. So I thought I'd go swimming, just two free lengths, sit there. And that's what I did for the first week or 2 weeks. I'll be able to tell you, I just didn't do anything. But then I seen a friend of mine who from school, and I went up into the gym with him. But it was like I was back with the lads in Rill again. I was just stood there talking to people, and that was the bigger thing of actually talking to people who I hadn't seen for a long time, and the social part of it. So for the first couple of times after that, I'd just go and pretend I was doing something, didn't even know what I was doing, and I'd be talking, and that was the biggest help. Interaction with people.
Yeah.
People who really don't know me, that I could go back and tell Hannah or tell my dad, well, this is how he's feeling. I could open up to them more. And that's started helping, talking.
Yeah, because from the sounds of it, you hadn't done much interaction for a while.
But then as time went on, well, I like this. I wasn't doing it properly, but I was like, I like this, enjoy this. I was actually getting a feel for it.
Yeah.
And then I met a really good friend of mine who's a PT there, Dale. And, I'd go, we'd have a chat. And even if he had 5 or spare 10 minutes, he was actually showing me things to do.
Yeah.
And that was the thing then. That was the click. I enjoy this. This is giving me something that I want to do. And
at that time, what was your diet like? Were you still having the beef and butter?
Yeah, yeah.
Were you drinking booze as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the past 12, 15 months, maybe, I've been going to the gym every day. Well, not every day, but I've been going to the gym and that. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm loving this. I'm doing this. Burning 1,200-1,500 calories, maybe a little bit less in the gym. But then I was still going home and I was having me chicken, me chips, me doner kebab. But this was more food I was having because I've really capped the beer on the head. The beer's gone now. But I was still eating ridiculously. And it got to a point 3-4 months ago. I was thinking, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was looking on my calories and everything. I was thinking, why is nothing changing? And I spoke to somebody. He said, it's your nutrition. It's your nutrition you need. So social media come into play then. You start scrolling social media.
So sorry to interrupt. So with the social media aspect, had you been on it before? Or you just sort of thought, I'm going to go on this Instagram thing and have a look and see what's on there?
Basically, yeah. So Twitter, Instagram.
So you hadn't used it before?
I'd had it, but I'm not a very big social media person.
Yeah.
I'm more, the only social media I have is Twitter, X, whatever we call it now, because for the football scores and all stuff like that. So I was scrolling through and things come up, don't they? And I seen this online coach, so I thought I'd give him a try. Well, not give him a try, but start talking to him. And we got talking. And I thought, oh yeah, you're interesting. And then as we moved to the next level of actually going on board with him, he said, right, I'm going to pass you on to somebody else now. Somebody else. I thought I'm dealing with you. He went, no. I'm the face of the page, but then you might be working with somebody else, another online. I thought, well, I'm not going to give you money, mate, because I don't know X, Y, or Z about this individual. And And then as I was scrolling through Instagram for about a week or two that me and you actually spoke, you kept on popping up. This bald-headed meathead running on a treadmill. I thought, oh, he looks all right. And the thing that got me with you is you were running on the treadmill, and it was if you want to lose belly fat in your 40s.
I was walking.
Sorry, yeah, you were walking. I do apologise. You were walking. And if you want to lose belly fat in your 40s, and I'm 41 in September, and I've got a belly. So I thought, yeah, I'll give you a try. But and then you popped up again and you asked like a question. It was a Sunday afternoon, wasn't it? Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday.
I remember.
I clicked yes. Half an hour later, you popped up into me things, and then I think it was 15 minutes out of that, we were on a Zoom call together, weren't we?
Yeah.
And, you know, since that phone call, you know, take all this crap aside, you know, I think we've actually become friends.
Definitely.
More than a coach and a client.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I can actually, you've invited me into your home today, which is an absolute hell of a gaff.
Appreciate it.
You've really done well for yourself in life, I can tell you.
Thanks.
Really have. You ought to be proud of yourself for thingy. But like I said, I honestly think I can call you a friend now more than an online coach.
Same.
And you've boosted me well, first of all, you've helped me with the nutrition. That was the biggest thing. You've turned my nutrition around.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 2 bottles of Lucozade a day now. It's 2 to 3 litres of water.
Yeah, because I remember when you were telling me what you were eating, and I was thinking, fucking hell. But through what I do, I have heard that from others.
Yeah.
But
it was like the more I was telling you were sat in your chair, I eat this, I drink that, you were going lower and lower and lower, and it was like, fucking hell, Charlie. You know what I mean? But that's the thing, you've helped me in ways I can't actually thank you for, really.
I appreciate it. Well, it takes two to tango, Charlie. You know, I can give you all the tools you need, but you've actually got to do it. And that is testament to you, because you changed your life around from that day. Yeah. I can imagine it. That's how I envision it. I saw what weight you were. You were 275, 300 pounds, 22 stone. Oh no, you were about 20 then, weren't you?
Yeah.
You lost a bit.
Yeah, I've lost a bit. Yeah. From when I've joined the leisure centre gym, when I first walked in, I was 22 and a half stone. But then I've got down gradually. But then, like I said, I just hit a peak and I just wasn't changing. So from then, I think I lost about maybe two stone, didn't I? Two and a bit stone. And then I come on with you and I was 19 stone, 11 when I come on with you.
Call it 20. So it's about 126 kilos. So for the viewers listening, Charlie's lost 14 kilos, which is about 35 pounds in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Since joining, and correct me if I'm wrong. So we changed your nutrition. So it's the yogurt in the mornings, oats, berries,
yeah.
And you're having tuna steaks, you're having chicken, you're having the right carbs, and the right amount of healthy fats. And what's key here is what lots of people don't realize is you are eating in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So you have a certain calorie target to hit every day.
Yeah.
With mathematically calculated macros to hit every day. And for those that don't know what macros are, that is your protein, carbs and fats. So Charlie will have a target to hit each day for his protein, carbs and fats, and then an amount of calories to hit every day. So that's worked out on the back of what his calorie maintenance level is. And his calorie maintenance level at that time was about 2,800 to 3,000 calories a day, which means that if he consumes that amount of food, nothing will change, even if you work out for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. His deficit went to about 2,000 calories a day, give or take, and he stuck to it like a fly to shit. And the transformation, the progress has been amazing. And testament to you, Charlie. It's been amazing to see and watch, and I know it can be difficult for you.
Oh, yeah.
I know I haven't been through what you've been through, but from what you've told me, I know how difficult it's been.
Yeah.
And I just think the world of you, because as I told you, you will be an inspiration to others, because there will be lots of other men and women who are extremely overweight, extremely unhealthy, you know, could be a day, a week, or a month away from a heart attack, that just say, fuck it, I'm just going to sit here and just carry on how I am. But you were the 1% that said, fuck this, I'm changing my life today. Today it starts. It was that Sunday afternoon. So you went from 126 kilos on that Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So today, 2.5 months-ish later, to 111 kilos.
Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to Google what 14 kilos of body fat looks like, and the volume of that, that is a lot of body fat. Just think of it as picking up a 15 kilo plate in a gym in your hands. That's the amount of body fat Charlie has zapped from his body.
That's basically what was killing my knees and my ankles and my lower back.
And how are they now?
Yeah, a hell of a lot better. Like I said, I did for the first time. I've never ever been able to run. Never been able to run. And I did the Chester 10K a couple of weeks ago.
Amazing.
And I did that, and I did that in 1 hour, 3 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, I think you're truly inspirational, and I hope there's a lot of other men and women that listen to this and watch you and think, wow, if he can do it, and look what he's achieved.
It's just taking that first step.
You might be saving people's lives.
It's just taking that first step.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, if there's people out there who's got depression and anxiety and think they don't belong in a gym, they don't fit in a gym, well, I'm your example that you do. Everyone's got a place, but once you get in there and you get the feel for it, and you think, I belong here, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I said to you before, I honestly don't feel like I've scratched the surface yet. And 14 kg is a lot of weight to lose. 30, is a lot of weight to lose, but I don't even think I've scratched the surface yet.
For sure, you know, we can do a whole body recomposition, and that is coming. But as I do keep telling you, this is a gradual process.
Yeah.
And that's why this is the difference between winners and losers. You know, people come on and, you know, they wake up in 3 weeks to go, why on this amazing physique? Why haven't I lost 30 kilos in 3 weeks? Because it ain't fucking real.
We've been there, haven't we? We've had that conversation.
So these dickheads online that tell you're going to lose this amount of weight if you sign with me for 30 days. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Because all that will happen is they'll just manage your expectations on the 30th day, and they'll say, oh, we'll give it another 30 days and another 30 days. No, really, this stuff could take years, but, you know, week by week, month by month, gradual progression. As long as we keep seeing this on an average basis, then you're going to look extremely different. And you do already. You look amazing, because we can talk about we'll talk about what you were just about to say in a minute about when you had a wobble. But what I found remarkable and inspiring again was the Father's Day story.
Yeah. Well, it was about 5 weeks ago. We went to the local supermarket, the Asda, which has a George range in there, and we went to do the shopping. And I always have a look around the George thing, t-shirts and tops and stuff like that. And there was this one specific t-shirt. And the thing with me is, I am a Sopranos fanatic. I am a Sopranos fanatic. Tony Soprano to me is the best character that's ever been invented. And Asda, I've started, I don't know if you watch it, if you get to like series 4 and 5, you see he starts wearing these cotton t-shirts. And there was this t-shirt in the Asda, and it was a cotton-like t-shirt, and the man himself just thought, that's Tony Soprano t-shirt. I thought, I've got to have that t-shirt. So I tried it on. It was a 3XL, and I tried it on, and it was the way the material sat on my belly. If I sat down, it was just like I had a barrel underneath me, and I just felt uncomfortable. And even though I hadn't bought the t-shirt, I was trying to stretch it to make it try and fit before I bought it. I thought, no, I'm not buying it. And Hannah was like, get it, you look all right. And I was like, no, I don't. I know when I look all right and I feel comfortable, so I don't want it. It's like now if you're watching, I'll do this, and but I just knew I wasn't feel comfortable in that t-shirt. So I left it. We walked around Asda. She asked me twice, go and get the t-shirt. No, don't want it. Walked out the shop. That was it at the end of that. and it was on Sunday. Frankie brought me my Father's Day card, my Father's Day gifts, and he said, "I got you another gift, Daddy." I was like, "Right, okay, what is it?" And he went and got it, and he brought it to me, and it was the T-shirt. So I said to Hannah, I said, "You know this didn't fit me, and I didn't like it, you know, blah blah blah." She said, "Well, I went back the next day and I got it you." She said, "Because I knew in time it's going to fit you." So I was like, "Right, okay, thanks very much," and this, that, the other. And we were going out for Sunday lunch on Father's Day. And she said, "Right, I've ironed your top, this, that, the other, your T-shirt, put it on." And I tried it on, and I said, "Is this the same T-shirt, the same size as what you got me last time?" And when I tried it on, it was a 3XL. And she went, "No." I said, "But it's not going to fit me, is it?" She went, "Just try it on." It was double XL. And I tried it on, and wow, I just couldn't believe that it wasn't the same size it was the same T-shirt, but it wasn't the same size. It was a size down.
So it was smaller.
And it fitted me, yeah. I sent you the picture now. I sent you the picture. And I just cannot believe how it fits me, and it's a size down as well from when it fits me. It's unbelievable. It's just mad.
No, and you can tell from the expression of, because Charlie sent me the voice note telling me the story, and then he sent me the photo on Father's Day at like 12 o'clock. I was walking out the door, I was listening to the voice note of basically that in a 1 minute summary, and I just I expressed it back. She was like, "This has just made my day. This is what makes it all worth it."
Yeah.
You know, hearing stories like that, where you've gone to a shop, you've tried something on, it was too tight, too snug. You know, your amazing missus then went and bought it behind your back to you 4 weeks later, and bought a size down, and you put it on, and it fitted brilliant. You know, everyone's happy. And
she said to me, she said, "I bought you the size down." She said, "Because I knew how well you're doing with your eating and how much you go into the gym." She said, "I just knew that in the time when we were going to give it to you, I know you'd have lost weight, because she has been behind me 100%, 100%."
Well, maybe when we do this again in 6 months, Charlie, you bring Hannah.
100%, she's been behind me. It's not been easy for her.
No, but that's
the temper tantrums, and you know, "I'm not eating tonight because I don't feel right." And but she's been there. She's been there. We're you know, the whole way. You know what I mean? She deserves a gold medal for the things that she puts up with me. Sometimes it's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it might be good to get her here one day.
Yeah.
We can have a chat. So for the viewers listening, and to anyone that is struggling with weight, confidence, anxiety, depression, what would you say to them?
Let's hit the first one first, and the first one, the main one for me, is depression. Don't ever let anybody be depressed, because I've been there. I still am there, but I can deal with it a little bit at the minute. I'm dealing with it better now. I understand it a hell of a lot more. But if there's anybody out there who's dealing with depression or anxiety, first thing I can ask you to do is just go and talk to someone first. Do not let it fester in your head and let it get worse. Go and speak to anybody. Just tell them that you need help. Go to your doctor, go to your GP. If your work can help you, speak to someone at work and ask them to guide you into any direction, because there's loads of charities out there and things that help you. You know, it's worked wonders for me. It's not fixed me, but it's helping me.
Do you think the weight training structure and the nutrition plans, how much of that has contributed towards you feeling better? And
the gym thing for me has been 100% the thing that keeps me on the straight and narrow. The gym. Take away the nutrition. Just get a routine. A routine to help with my depression and my anxiety. I need routine. If my routine goes out the window, just one little thing, my head goes. My mind starts wandering. So my day-to-day thing, week-to-week thing is it's just the same thing. Get up, go to work. Straight home from work, straight in the car, straight to the gym. I'll do 2.5 hours in the gym. Straight home from then, I'll pick Frankie up from school. It's just a continuous routine, but make sure in your weekly routine you've got the gym, because you don't know how good it works for you. Just get in the gym, get your headphones in, just just smash it. Just do your workout, and guaranteed, if you can do a little bit of cardio in there as well, a little bit of a run or a walk, you don't know how well you come out feeling afterwards. You feel on top of the world.
Yeah.
And that has helped me so much. And now I've come on board with you, and you've put the nutrition into the mix. It's a whole different ball game for me. Whole different ball game.
So Charlie, what is next for you? Carry on down this path, light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we're losing probably 1 kilo a week in body fat. Your body recomposition is taking place. The shape of your body is changing. Your nutrition is on point.
Yeah.
You're feeling better. Where do you see yourself in 6 to 9 months from now?
My physio, my counsellor, my therapist or whatever, they say to keep me on the straight and narrow, because I want everything. I want everything yesterday. I'm one of them. I have to have it.
Have they seen an improvement
Yeah.
since you started?
Yeah.
Good.
The thing with me is I have to have everything yesterday. 2-3 weeks ago, I sent you the picture. You know,
I mean, a lot of people are like that in some degree. Even when you're talking about the routine, you do the.
I'm always looking for
I'm like that,
contentment.
and I'm sure there's people training, whether they're with a coach like me or not.
I'm always
People
looking.
have a routine.
I'm never
don't
happy.
like breaking it.
I'm never happy with what I've got. That's one of my biggest things. It's like a couple of weeks ago when I sent you the thing. I come home from work and just a pulse inspire. Hannah, get in the car. We went up to the thing. I bought a car just like that. You know, and that was like a short-term goal.
My wife is this. If I get an idea in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, right, I want another tattoo.
And
Going now.
Yeah, I had the car 2-3 days, and it was like, right, you've got your car now, Charlie. What's next? It's always what's next for me, and I need to calm that down. But my therapist say, don't look for long-term goals. It's short-term goals. That's what's going to keep you focused. That's what's going to keep you thinking. If you set a long-term goal, you're going to be aiming for it, and are you ever going to reach for it? The biggest thing for me, Matt, is just being in the gym, seeing things work. I'll be totally honest with you. I haven't even thought of a goal at the moment where I want to be. I'm just living in the moment.
Yeah,
I'm just living in the moment, and I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I'm excited to see what is going to come.
Yeah.
Because if 2.5 months is 14 kilos in 2.5 months, what's 12 months going to be for us?
Exactly, which is what I've been trying to tell you. That one photo image, right? That Charlie at 126 kilos and that Charlie at 90 kilos to get that could be the goal, couldn't it? But then it's sticking to it. I'll tell you now. I'm 40. I'm 41 in September. I'm never ever going to stop going to the gym. Never going to stop going to the gym now. Well, welcome.
Because and it's not more on going to the gym for how I want to look. It's going for the gym for helping up here.
Yeah.
Most people, it was never
when you're in that world.
The start of this journey for me in that doctor's office was never of I want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
It was to get my brain working.
It's the dopamine release.
It was the dopamine release, and that's the biggest thing for me is the routine for my mental health.
Yeah.
Everything else on top of that. If my mental health's okay, whatever comes after that is a God gift bonus to me.
Yeah.
But I will honestly say, and this isn't being corny or anything, Matt. You have past 3 months, 2.5 months we've been speaking. You've worked wonders for me.
I appreciate it.
And I know you're at the end of the phone. I can text you any time of the day, and you will get back to me within 5 to 10 minutes. If you're busy, you'll tell me you're busy, but then you'll phone me. We speak to each other on Skype, on Zoom, everything. You have absolutely been fantastic. And, if there's anybody who watches this podcast or, sees it on Instagram or anything, honestly, this man will change it. This guy will change your life, but you've got to give him time and you've got to listen to what he says. Don't be going off thinking you can do it on your own, but with Matt's guidance, listen to what he tells you. And I promise you now, it's happened to me. It happened to anyone out there. You've just got to trust his process. And that's not me trying to thingy, mate. That is what you've done for me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, honestly, mate, you're an absolute star. You're a legend. You're a Tottenham fan, which is quite bad. But you know, we can get round that. But yeah, honestly, mate, if there's anyone out there, just give him a message, and honestly, he'll change. He can change your life, and he can change your physique as well. So
no, I appreciate that. And back to you, Charlie, which is why I wanted to get you on the show. I think you are an amazing individual. I can't speak from where in the trenches where you were. You know, everyone's got their demons, whatever they are. You've had some very severe.
Past 5 years, mate, has been tough. It's been tough.
But to see, because I could see and hear that Sunday afternoon when we had that first Zoom call, I remember it, right? This is why when I knew I wanted to do a podcast, I was like, Charlie, I want Charlie all night, because the way you came across, but I could see just in that half-hour call.
You could see I was asking for help, couldn't you?
I could see the help, but what had happened in that last 5 years just came out in 30 minutes. And yes, I wanted you as a client, but I was just thinking, I want to help this guy. I just want to help him. I want to be the one to hold his hand up in the ring at the end and say, winner.
Yeah.
And, you know, we are on round probably 3 or 4 out of 12, and you are winning. You know, you are knocking out that opponent, and you are smashing that fucking door down every round at the minute. So yeah, I just think you're just brilliant, you know, to do what you've done. You just no fucking around, no excuses. You're training 5 times. Every time I check everyone's metrics and nutrition and diet twice a day, at 5 in the morning and at 8 at night. Every time I sit there, I'm always shaking my head at your stuff. Like, he's just smashed it. He's got hit 2,000 calories, and on his circles of his macros, it's literally down. And I don't expect anyone to get to the last gram or to get to 100%. But with you, it is. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, before I
come on board with you, mate, and this is gospel truth, I didn't know what a macro was.
No, and I know.
Macro. We've got some stores down there. Macro. Yeah. We call it a macro. It's like a big shop kind of thing. That's what the only thing I never knew what a macro was. But your app, your app.
Now, because I message you about them every day.
The Everfit app, mate, is and when you intertwine it with your MyFitnessPal, is a total game changer. Total game changer. Scanning. You know, she kicks off on me around Aldi and Asda. Oh, just put it in the trolley. No, I've got to scan it to see what, you know, before.
What the macros are.
Yeah, what the macros are. It's an absolute game changer. Game changer.
And to see within the first week or two, when I saw your food consumption was going from yogurt to tuna steaks to, you know, chicken and veg and berries and oats, just knowing, reading it, this guy was eating bacon butters, drinking Lucasade bottles, having doner kebabs a week ago, to having this. You know, and then it was week 1, week 2. He's like, Matt, I've lost 2.5 kilos. Yeah. Matt, I've lost 2 kilos. Like, told you, mate.
Never ever touched broccoli in my life. Never liked broccoli. And now it's on my plate nearly 4 times a week, 5 times a week. Tuna steaks, I'm telling you now. Tuna steaks, they are the one.
They are great.
They are the one.
Yeah.
You know, it's unbelievable.
I did say to you, you know, if you don't be a loser, don't be a quitter, just stay with me, trust me, and trust the process.
Friday, mate, it nearly come to an end, innit, on Friday.
We'll talk about it in a minute, but I did ask you, trust me and trust the process, because there are quitters after 3 weeks. That's probably about 1%, but you didn't, and you did stick with it.
Yeah.
And I did say you would be an inspiration to other men and women out there, and that's why I thought, when I'm doing this podcast, let people hear what you've got to say, because you probably will save some lives for people watching this thinking, well, fucking hell, he did that, I'm going to try it. But let's talk about that story. So Charlie, just before we end this podcast, let's talk about last week's. You're probably 2.5 months into it. You and I speak every day, and I know there's been a couple of bumps in the road, and I've set you on the straight and narrow, but this time I could tell, you know, I needed either to be with you, which I couldn't, and I actually tried to call you and you didn't answer, which was when I knew there was a problem.
Yeah.
So Charlie basically woke up and said, I don't like the way I fucking look. You know, look at the other people you're posting about their progress with this photo and then this photo, and you were like, well, look at me. Look at my photo, I don't look like this. I know what you were trying to say. You don't look like this amazing physique that you're trying to envisage. So what's the point? Here's the fucking towel. I'm throwing it in the ring. So that was like the message and the persona that was coming across from Charlie. I was like, no. don't do this. You are 14 kilos down in 2.5 months. You're having a bad episode. Just remember what I say to you. Just trust me and trust the process. You look amazing. And then before I know it, whoever is part of the Flexfit family, they get access to a forum. It's a support forum. It's only exclusive to them, but people are posting their macros and what food they've eaten to get there, and everyone's just sharing stuff about recipes and stuff about protein, carbs, and fats. Just lots of the Flexfit family,
like a big support group, really, isn't it?
It's a massive support group, and Charlie just took it upon himself without telling me, even though I did call him maybe once or twice and he didn't answer. And I remember sitting in my office chair. I put my hand on my head. I even shouted out from this one, Cassie, I've got a problem. I need to help him, because I deal with a lot of people, a lot. But there is something about you, and I know you had severe issues. I was like, I can't fucking drive to Cheshire because I don't know where he lives. He hasn't answered his phone, and I don't have his wife's number. This is what I was thinking. This is what was going genuinely, right? Because I didn't want you to, I don't know, just didn't want you to fall off the wagon. Let's just say that. And you call me, go, I've had fucking 10 beers and I've fucked this and I'm out, right? Because I just got this vision of you, whether it's 6, 9 months, 12 months, of just got, look at this guy now. Look at the stage of him now compared to where he was. And then I just saw that I get notifications of anything that moves and ever fit. Charlie's made a post. I was like, oh, he's fucking saying goodbye, isn't it? No, he wasn't saying goodbye. He posted a photo of himself at the start at 126 kilos. And then he posted a photo of himself at 112 kilos and said, Flexfit family, what do you think? Am I wasting my time?
Honestly, I wanted to
just be honest with me, people. And so he is now asking real people that are going through the same transformations as him for just answers. And the support he got from people was unbelievable. It was overwhelming to me. I was like, oh, look what people are saying to this guy. And I just thought it was amazing. And
do you know the biggest the comment in there that really made me think? It was, I don't know, it was from a guy. It was one of the guy. All the comments were fantastic. Thanks very much. It really kept me thinking. But there was one comment of the guy, and it made me think. He said, "Look at the gap in the door on the bedroom door." He said, "Look from your first picture." He said, "You're over the gap." Because I'm stood in the exact same position. Yeah. He said, "Now you can see the full shape." Yeah. You've got to have, the frame. Have a look. You've got to see the picture. But in my doors, I've got like lines in the middle of the doors. He said, "Go off the lines." He said, "You can see how your belly's gone in because you can't see that line on your first picture." Yeah. And then that was like, yeah, you're right there, mate. Yeah. So that did keep me grounded a little bit. Yeah. But it was the next morning, wasn't it? The next morning was just, if you could show him that text message that I sent you, what I said to you, why are you always right? I fucking hate you.
It's true, actually. Yeah. We'll get an image of that on the screen.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It wasn't a case of me being right and you being wrong. It was a case of me just pleading with you, don't fucking throw the towel in. You've gone on a journey and you're doing amazing. You've got people telling you're doing amazing. Yeah. Why would you do that? Yeah. But I get that you probably were close to it. And
Friday, I was all for throwing the towel in. Nothing's working. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting your time. I feel shit. Blah 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 blah. And then 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, I jump on the scales and I was 2 kg lighter, 2.2 kg lighter from the week before. You know what I mean? I was like, it's just crazy.
Luckily we didn't have water retention and you were 5 kilos up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that text message, the first message I sent you, it was like, yeah, the process is working. But
we knew it was working.
Yeah, we knew it was working, but you can't have it straight away. You've got to put the grind in. You've got to put the work in. Yeah. And you're an amazing online coach. Honestly, amazing. You can be there, like what you said, you can be there at the end of the phone for people, but it's us who has to put the work in to see them scales and then metrics go down. You can't do it for us. We've got to do it ourselves. So it's a two-way thing. You've got to trust me and I've got to trust you.
Exactly.
Or there's no point doing it.
Yeah, exactly that.
And you just sit at home on your arse.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, you know, it's trust at the end of the day.
Yeah, unfortunately, just you know, a shout out to all the other Flexfits out there.
Definitely.
You are all doing amazing, and I'm super proud to be your coach. You know who you are, if you're listening. But yeah, Charlie, I do think you are an amazing individual. I'm proud to be your coach, and I'm proud to go on this journey.
You know, I know you say you're proud to be my coach. I can honestly say, mate, I'll hand on heart, I'm proud to call you a friend. You know, in day.
I'd agree with that.
And if there's, like I say, if there's anybody out there, he won't look at you as a client. He looks at you as a friend. You know what I mean?
Mate.
Yeah. No worries, Pat.
Definitely.
No worries. You know, thanks very much for inviting me on.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me in your home.
I'll get you down again because I'm sure people want to see.
Well, we're all going to meet up, aren't we, on the shoot, aren't we?
So the shoot, the Flexfit shoot would be brilliant. But I'm sure people will want to see what's next. What happened? What's Charlie going to look like in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? So yeah, I do think you'll be an inspiration to others, and I think you know, testament to you. You've done amazing, and just Charlie, don't quit.
No.
Just stay on this path.
Stay on the path.
Trust me and trust the process.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks ever so much. Cheers.